From Easy K Studios in Eddyville, Kentucky, it's time for the Easy K Show. Tonight, to commemorate 10 years of film, it's time for the Top 20. That's right, Top 20. That's not a typo. Movies of the 2010s. Your hosts, Darth Easy and Rainy Cage. Woo. Alright guys, welcome to episode 106 of the Easy K Show. I am Darth Easy.
And I'm Rainy Cage.
Alright, so as always, this is our top 20 movies. This is our top 10 episode of the month, and usually how we do it is we'll pick a random topic and usually commemorate a movie coming out during the month. Well, this month we decided to change things up with because it's the end of the decade, so it's kind of fun to do a top 20 because we've never actually done a top 20 before together, and we are going to combine this list, and we're going to combine it into a top 20. So it's going to be a hard list to get down. So was this a hard list to create?
It was very hard to create.
Okay. Yeah, it was hard. I mean, because, I had past year's lists looking into it, but I just basically list movies down, find out what I wanted where. So, yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so once me and Ray Cage have said a topic, we'll go our separate ways to cover our own separate top 20s. A way a top 20 will work is I'll do my 20 through 15, and you'll do your 20 through 15. I'll do my 14 through 11, and you'll do your 14 through 11. Then we'll do as we usually do. Then I'll do my 10 through 8, you'll do your 10 through 8. Then I'll do my 7 through 6, and you'll do your 7 through 6. Then we'll trade one apiece. Once we have compiled our own separate top 20s, we will create the top 20 of the show, and this will most likely be a two-part episode.
And this is too many numbers for me already.
Okay, so let's get right into it. So I'll go first because you started first last time. So this is part of the fun of this list is having movies in here that it's not intentional, but I know it's movies that you're just like, really? You're putting that in the list? And I'm sure you'll have that as well for me.
Probably, maybe.
So my number 20 is the end of a certain franchise, a franchise that I grew up loving and I love it in. My number 20 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This came out in 2011. Did this make your list?
It did not.
Okay. I love this movie.
I didn't even see this movie in theaters.
Yeah.
We came back later and watched the Harry Potter movies. So I can understand why it's on your list. You're a much bigger Harry Potter fan.
I love Harry Potter, and this is the culmination of, it's good versus evil. It's Harry versus Voldemort. It was the first Part 2 movies, which kind of create a chain of events of other franchises, from Twilight to the stupid Hunger Game movies doing Part 2s. This is the only Part 1, Part 2 movies that make sense because the last Harry Potter book is so big and there's so much happening you can't cover it in one movie. This one is just good. It's action-packed from the heist in Gringotts to the Battle of Hogwarts to seeing the final battle between Harry and Dumbledore. I love this. I love this movie, and yeah, it's awesome. Good versus evil, and I will always love this movie. Always.
All
right. My number 19. It's a movie I know you don't like. And it's
it won't be on my list.
So my number 19 is Django Unchained.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie.
Yeah, I know. But this is I think my only Quentin Tarantino movie on this list. What I love about this movie, it pays homage to other spaghetti westerns, from The Good, Bad, the Ugly to A Fistful of Dollars, and then I love the music in it, but I love Jamie Foxx's performance, and then what's that guy's name? The German guy.
Oh,
the one from Inglourious Basterds. He won Best Supporting Actor for this movie.
It'll come to me.
Yeah, but he's awesome in this movie, and like I said, some of the music, like the Django theme, and then Leonardo DiCaprio steals a lot of this movie, and so does Sam Jackson. I love this movie, and it had to be at my list.
Alrighty.
Alright, my number 18 is another movie, which, I don't know if, I think you like this movie, but there's no way it's going to be on your list. My number 18 is Moneyball.
Christoph Waltz.
Thank you.
No, yeah, I like this movie, but no, not in my top 20.
Yeah, Moneyball is just one of those movies where I love baseball, and I love...
Who directs this film?
Do what?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
What were you going to say?
Who directs this film?
I do not, but it is a script written by Aaron Sorkin. So it's partly because I love Aaron Sorkin. I love a lot of his scripts, but Moneyball I love just because it does that whole thing with baseball. And then Jonah Hill, this was his first dramatic movie, and it really starts to prove that he could be a really good dramatic actor, as we would see in another movie. It's probably in both our lists. I absolutely love Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt was nominated for this movie, and also it has a younger Chris Pratt in there before he became Star-Lord. So that's my number 18.
Liking it so far.
All right, my number 17 is probably my only musical on my list.
Okay.
And that is La La Land.
Not on my list.
You have failed this city.
Not even in my honorable mentions.
Wow. Yeah, I love this movie. I mean, this movie makes me happy every time I watch it, from the music, City of Stars, all the other songs in there. I love the relationship between Ryan Gosling's character and Emma Stone. I love about the guy who wants to be a jazz player in his own club, and then Emma Stone wants to be this break art actress, but they have both realized they're not going to get what they want if they stay together. So that's what I love about this movie, is that they don't end up together. It's one of those love stories that I absolutely endure all the time. Oh wait, no, I meant this movie was Moonlight. Moonlight was my number 7. No, I'm just kidding. I've never seen Moonlight. So that's my number 17. Any other thoughts about it?
I do enjoy it. Just didn't crack my top 30.
All right, my number 16 is this was one of my 2 animated movies on this list.
Okay.
My number 16 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That is a punt.
Okay. My number 15 was my favorite movie of 2018, Avengers Infinity War.
That is definitely a punt.
Okay. That's my 20 through 15.
Whew. This list is going to be hard to combine. I can tell already. All right. My number 20 is Mud, the Matthew McConaughey film. It's fan-freaking-tastic. This was I don't know if it was the beginning or in the middle of the Matthew McConaissance. McConaissance. I keep saying McConaissance when I was talking about this earlier today. It came out in 2012, so probably the beginning. It's a really, really freaking good film. It's about this kid. They're out exploring. They find this guy who's living out on this island. And, he's not really a good influence on these kids, but I don't know. It's got like a really charming thing to it, and Matthew McConaughey's fantastic in the film.
As always.
Yes, he really killed it. Ty Sheridan is one of the kids. He's really good. I couldn't remember if you'd seen that or not. My number 19, I think you've seen this, is Source Code. I doubt it's on your list, though. This was my number 1 movie in 2011.
Okay.
Directed by Duncan Jones, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Michelle Monaghan. I'm going to be honest with you. This list, Monaghan. The reason this is so far down on my list, I haven't watched this probably since 2011. So maybe it would go even further down on my list, or maybe
rewatchability does play a key into some movies.
I haven't rewatched it, but I do remember the gist of the film. I remember it has like a kind of an Edge of Tomorrow type thing going into it. It involves time travel and
timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly time
but
stuff.
I do remember loving it, and it was my number 1 film. So
I liked the movie. Duncan Jones directed it, and I liked it.
That's my number 19.
I need to watch it again too.
My number 18, going with another Matthew McConaughey film, The Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay, I've seen it.
Yeah, this is a really good film. That's another part of the Matthew McConaughey sense. This one I like. McConaissance. I like this one heck of a lot more than Mud, even though a lot of people it's the other way around. Mm-hmm. This one's like a dirty, grimy lawyer. But I mean, it's just Matthew McConaughey just being freaking amazing, and I just remember loving.
Yeah, I like this movie.
Marissa Tomei's in here, William H. Macy. It's good stuff. John Leguizamo, Michael Pena. It's got a good cast. My number 17 is End of Watch.
Okay.
This is another Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Got a little back heavy with my Jake Gyllenhaal. Michael Pena's in here too. I remember this film has a great twist ending. It's found footage style, and I love this movie.
Oh, it's great. I've only seen it once.
This was another one where I haven't seen it since it came out, but it was way up there on my list. 2012. David Ayer directs this movie too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, love End of Watch. My number 16. I don't think this will be on your list. It's a Matthew Vaughn film, Kick-Ass.
Nope.
Love me some Kick-Ass. I remember going into this film and being completely blown away. I mean, Nick Cage is such a badass in this film. Hit Girl. Everything with Hit Girl is amazing. It really just is so freaking awesome. And I rewatched it a bunch, and this is just freaking amazing film.
Yeah,
not based on a comic book series I had any idea about or anything.
Right. Well, it's based off a comic. You just never heard of it.
Yeah. Of a lesser known.
The Nick Cage scene when he's dying in the warehouse is incredible.
It's good stuff. My favorite is the Hit Girl action scene towards the end when she's running through the hallway and all that stuff. Man, I love that.
When he's in a jetpack, flying and shoots what's this guy's name? Mark Strong's character.
Yeah.
That's just awesome.
Yep, it's funny.
And then they fly off into the
action pack. It's got heart. It's good stuff.
Maybe one day we'll get a good sequel of that movie.
Yeah, maybe. We're stuck in Kingsman land. All right, and that is my 20 through 16.
15. You got one more.
Oh, I got to do my 15?
Yeah.
I thought we did 15.
No, I did. My 15 was the Infinity War.
Oh, okay. My 15 is Captain America Civil War.
Okay. Nope. Didn't make my list.
I wanted to, include this in here because this was really a turning point for me with
the MCU.
The MCU as a whole, yeah. I remember the first, 15, 20 minutes when he jumps down onto that boat, Captain America does.
That's Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Civil War, I'm mixing up my movies. Yes, this wasn't a turning point for me. Never mind. This was just amazing. The action scene, the big airport action scene is freaking amazing. And, I like this one better than Civil War.
Winter Soldier, you mean?
Or Winter Soldier, yeah.
You sure you want to pick one Civil War?
I know. I like them both. But yeah.
You're remembering more of
I got it
Soldier.
now. Okay, so, yes. The freaking action scene. You had Spider-Man into the MCU in this one, which was freaking badass. It's one of the greatest action scenes of all time in the middle of that movie. And every time I watch this film again, I appreciate it more. I like the villain in it a little bit more. The things that I didn't like, the shaky cam stuff, I kind of get over it more in this every time I rewatch it. So it's one of my higher up there Marvel films. So.
Right. My problem with this movie is a lot of it, I feel like you see a lot of the story stuff coming. Where Winter Soldier, I didn't see S.H.I.E.L.D. being Hydra. So that's why I've always liked Winter Soldier more than I like Civil War. The action scenes are incredible, but I just hate predictability in movies.
I don't know. You could tell I was flabbergasted flustered when I did this because I do really enjoy the other one too. But Civil War is my favorite.
All right, that's your 20 through 15.
15, yeah.
All right, now my number 14 was one of the great comic book movies to come out this decade.
Oh, yeah?
And that is Joker.
Did not have this in my list.
Okay. Look, this movie is just incredible. I've talked about it a lot the past last year, and it's just Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Joker, and then the love letters from Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy mixed in with this movie. It's just great, and it's like a great little Joker origin story as well, and really an origin story for Gotham for whatever the hell is going to happen in the next era of the DC Batman story movies. And I'm hoping they can springboard off of this one because I love this movie. And like I said, Joaquin Phoenix is just incredible. Deserves an Oscar. Don't know if he'll win it from the Oscar voters, but I think he does deserve one.
He got the Golden Globe.
That doesn't mean anything.
I think he's going to get the Oscar. I think this came out on Blu-ray this week.
It did.
I'm going to get it Saturday, I think.
I'm going to wait for the price to go down.
I want to watch it again really bad because, it's precious in my mind, but... I was trying to pick from my top 3 from every year, so that's probably why, because I don't think Joker made my top 3. I can't remember now, but I freaking love Joker. It's amazing.
Yeah. So my number 13 was a movie that really sold me on Guillermo del Toro, and that's The Shape of Water.
Man, not even in my honorable mention. None of these.
Did you think about that one?
It must not make my top 3. I'm telling you, I only picked from my top 3 of every year.
Oh, well.
I didn't go outside of that.
You should have gone outside of that.
I definitely didn't go outside if it wasn't a 5 out of 5. I can't remember if I gave that movie a 5 out of 5. I don't think I did. I do remember you liking that more than I did.
I mean, it won the Easy Cage Award for Best Picture at the Easy Cage show back in 2017. I love this movie. I mean, I watched the trailer, so it's like, I'm going to hate this because I've not liked anything the guy has done that I've seen, and this movie just blew me away. I mean, it's simple. It's a love story. It's The Creature from the Black Lagoon meets a love story. And Sally Hawkins, her being a beaut or whatever, is just absolutely amazing in the movie as well. I love this movie. It's why I had to put it this high on this list, because I just found the movie incredible.
I like it too.
All right, my number 12 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
That is a punt.
Okay. My number 11, I know this won't be on your list, okay. So my number 11 is Blade Runner 2049.
I do love it, though.
This movie blew me away when I watched it, and I've only watched it once, but I remember the movie so well. I mean, to make a sequel of a movie which I like but don't love, it's not one I ever want to go back and watch again. It blows me away from Ryan Gosling's performance as the Blade Runner, who's I forget what it's called. I think it's Replicants.
Yep.
Is in the Blade Runner, and then the story, the relationship between him and his AI girlfriend Ana de Armas, who is just I'm hoping has a good career after watching this movie. I want to see her do more, and I just thought that was great. I love seeing Harrison Ford in the movie for the little bit he's into it. And I just love the story. I love what it says about society. And I just love Blade Runner 2049. It's just such a beautiful, perfect movie made by one of my favorite directors of the 2010s, Denis Villeneuve. And yeah, that's my 14 through 11.
All right. Okay, my number 14 is a punt from earlier. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah. That was my number 16.
Yeah, so 2 off. Yeah, this movie freaking blew me away. I mean, it's animated so differently, looks differently. It's got a ton of heart. I love what they did. You get parallel universes and stuff, and it's not like super confusing. You get multiple Spider-Mans, and it's freaking awesome. And it opened up a franchise I didn't think could be opened up anymore, to the point where I'm super excited for a sequel for it. And yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man and Spider-Verse. I mean, it changed the game a lot for animation. I mean, it's one of the more revolutionary animation movies in a very long time. I love it. Yeah, it's just a great movie, and I don't know what more to say about it. I love all the different Spider origins, from the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man. It's like, it's always windy where I am, and it's like the first great Nick Cage movie probably since Kick-Ass.
Oh.
And I love this movie.
I agree. My number 13 is another animated movie. I wanted to sneak in a Pixar movie in here. It was hard. I went with Toy Story 3.
Punt.
All right. All right, my number 12. You still haven't seen this damn movie. It's Dr. Sleep, my only movie from this past year that made the cut on my top 20. Yeah, it just was my favorite movie of the year, and it's freaking amazing. I love how it's 30 years after
The Shining.
The Shining, and Ewan McGregor is freaking amazing in it. Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat. I've said this a million times. Deserves a spinoff. It's a great movie. Can't wait for one day for you to see it. It's not even like super scary either. Dr. Sleep isn't. My number 11, Molly's Game.
Did you do your 12?
That was Dr. Sleep.
Okay.
Yep. It was Spider-Man, Toy Story, Dr. Sleep.
Okay, you're right.
Yep.
Okay.
Molly's Game, I think this... does this come out the same year as Shape of Water?
What year it came out? 17?
It came out in 2017.
Yeah.
See, this was the flop of us. I think this is what happened, because... you like Shape of Water better, and when we came out of that 3-movie deal, I liked Molly's Game better. Aaron Sorkin directed and wrote this film, and freaking Jessica Chastain is amazing. And I don't know, I just really, really freaking love this film. I've seen it a couple times since. It's one Aaron Sorkin's writing and stuff. kills it. I know he's got a film coming up next year, or this year now because we're in 2020, that also sounds pretty damn cool. And, yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I love Molly's Game, so, yeah.
And that is my 14 through 11.
All right, my number 10 is a punt from earlier.
Okay.
Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay.
This is, I mean, the Toy Story trilogy is one of the great movie trilogies, because the fourth one, I'm kind of in the mindset, it kind of never happened.
Oh,
it's
come
good,
on. Don't hate on it.
It's not a Toy Story movie. It's a Woody movie. It should have been called Woody's Roundup or something. But it's called Toy Story 4, so it's not a spinoff. Anyways, I'm here to love about Toy Story 3, and I love Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 came out the year I graduated high school. And Andy going off to college was when I went off to college. So I get emotional thinking about that part of the story. But then I love how, like, from the toys going down into the furnace, all holding hands, thinking they're about to die, to, what do you say, later partner. And I wish that was our ending of Toy Story.
It is the perfect cap to the three movies, and it's very emotional. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of the best Pixar movies ever made, so I agree with you.
All right.
It's great.
My number 9 was, I know it's on your list because you already spoiled it. My number 9 was a movie that came out last year, and that's Parasite.
How did I spoil it?
Because you said the only movie from last year that made this list.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Parasite.
Parasite.
A lot of these movies are fresh in your mind making this top 20.
Well, get ready for the opposite of that. Okay. So, yeah, Parasite, this is one of the most incredible movie experiences I had, just from never watching a Korean movie in theaters before. That was kind of cool to see in that. But then also love how the movie goes from the social clash war to basically the family becoming a con artist to get into this house, and then all the craziness that happens. This movie's just absolutely incredible, and I love this movie. I
do enjoy it as well. Did not even crack the top 5, so that's why it's not on my list.
But you only went from 3 movies from each of your list, so that's kind of a weird way to do this. So,
really, I mean, if we're doing the best of the decade,
yeah, but I want to look at all movies subjectively. It doesn't matter.
But I mean, everything on that you're listing off were probably in your top 3.
Yeah,
Parasite, I mean, was your best movie this
it was
year, so.
All right, my number 8 was a movie that was basically a remake of an original movie, but it had its own kind of spin to it. And no, it's not The Force Awakens. It is Creed. Came out the same year, the best movie of 2015. I love this movie. I mean, I never thought we would see another Rocky movie again, and really, I mean, I watch all the Rocky movies, turned into a fan of the Rocky movies before watching Creed, and Creed stands on its own, but it's also, it's a love letter to the Rocky franchise. It's a love letter to Philadelphia. I love Michael B. Jordan's transformation into Adonis Creed. I love the boxing scenes are incredible. The one boxing scene that makes it looks like it's an entire one shot, it's absolutely amazing. And yeah, this is like one of the most, like I said, I love this movie. I love the director who would later on do Black Panther. He's amazing in this movie as well. He directs the hell out of this movie. So yeah, that's my
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler does an incredible job, and that's my 10th to rate.
I love Creed 2. I love Creed 2, but I also love the first Creed as well. But yeah, didn't make my list, man. Like I said, these were hard lists.
Boo this man! Boo this man!
All right, we good on time? Oh yeah, we're rolling. All right, so now I'm doing my number
10 through 8.
10
just like we always do.
Thank you. My number 10 is Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay, didn't make my list.
Oh, this film's freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Live, Die, Repeat, which is, I guess, what one of its titles is now. It's got a Groundhog Day kind of thing, but it's an action movie. Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt. It's freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. It's very repeat watchable. I remember watching it over and over again, and I can't wait for the sequel. It's freaking amazing.
If we ever
get it. It was a surprise hit, too. Bad marketing, but...
well, it's not. It wasn't a hit because of all the damn titles, and the movie barely made its money back.
What was the movie before this that Tom Cruise did?
Oblivion.
Yes, and that was another thing. I remember going into this with very low expectations and being kind of...
We saw this movie together, if I remember right.
Yeah. All right. My number 9 is The Town.
Okay.
I wanted to get a Ben Affleck directed film in here. I freaking love The Town. It's a crime drama and set in Boston, and it stars Ben Affleck. It's freaking amazing. He's a great director. And,
yeah, I like this movie. I like Argo more, which is not on my list, but I still like this movie. And I like Gone Baby Gone more in this movie.
This is better. Yeah, I do like Gone Baby Gone better than this movie, but I like this movie better than Argo, but it's just because it's more of a...
It's a crime drama. I like Argo because of the history stuff, and yeah.
But that's my number 9. My number 8 is Hell or High Water.
Yep, that didn't make my list.
Holy... See... I'm starting to think a lot of your movies are from like more current or something. I don't know what your deal is. I don't know how you didn't get Hell or High Water on your list. You love this movie.
I do love this movie, but
Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine, Ben Foster,
John Roca.
I didn't even have to. Yeah, I didn't even have to look at my thing to nail that. This is a freaking western, a modern day western, and it's amazing. It's got a ton of heart.
It's good.
It is a. I remember you saw this movie like 3 or 4 weeks before me, and you were raving about it. And I was like, there's no way it's this good. And I could tell within the first 10 minutes sitting down in the theater, I was like, holy crap, this movie's going to be amazing. And it is. It's great. I love Hell.
Yeah, I love Hell. I love the Western ties to it. But there are apparently 20 movies better than this.
All right. Well, that's my 10 through 8.
All right. My number 7, because this movie came out so recently, my number 7 is Skyfall.
Oh, damn. Not on my list.
See, this is where the only 3 movies per list.
Damn it. I mean, it's good.
Oh, this movie is incredible.
It's the best modern Bond.
Yeah, I won't even call it modern Bond. I just call it a good Bond movie. Because calling it a modern Bond is kind of a slap in his face. This movie is incredible. From the action's great to the villain played by Javier Van Dam. No,
I think you're mixing 2 people up.
Played by, it's the one guy from the Terrible Pirates movie, and then also that one with No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Go ahead. So yeah, I love this movie. I mean, it's just and it also, this is the first Bond movie that truly of the Daniel Craig era became a Bond movie. And I love how it stands on its own from the first 2 Craig films. I love Casino Royale, but Skyfall is just such a good James Bond movie, and I think it is the best James Bond movie. A list that we will not be able to do because a certain rated cage refuses to watch James Bond movies.
I don't want to watch the old ones. But yeah, Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. Yeah, that's what I said.
I think that's what you said. Anyways, yes, I enjoy it. Once again, didn't make my top 30.
I'm thinking Matt Mikkelsen. Because Matt Mikkelsen was in Casino Royale.
Yep.
All right, my number 6 is it's the modern day Rocky movie. My number 6 is Warrior.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, this movie is Tom Hardy, Joe Egerton. Basically, they're brothers, but you really, at the first, you don't really realize it, but then you do, and then the movie's just absolutely incredible from the MMA scenes. Because I never want to watch an MMA. Even after watching this movie, I never want to watch MMA, but this movie has such a great story from Nick Nolte's performance, and then Tom Hardy is great in this movie. Really this was the decade of Tom Hardy for me from this, and I have 2 more movies on my list for Tom Hardy in it. And this movie just completely sells me on Tom Hardy as an actor. Yeah, I love this movie.
This is going to be a hard list to combine, man. I love this movie. Gave it a 4 out of 5. Did a real quick check. Give it a 4 out of 5, so it probably wasn't even in my top 20 of that year. This was one you came and watched later on, though, wasn't
it?
Yes. Yeah.
But I've watched it about 3 or 4 times since.
It's a good film, for sure.
That's my 7 through 6.
All right. My number 7 is Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Nope.
See,
it's because this movie makes the list before Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
I know me and you have differing opinions on
this. Rise of Skywalker ruins Force Awakens. Yeah.
I still remember sitting in this theater 7 times and going to see this film. It's freaking awesome. It's my number 3rd best Star Wars film, 3rd or 4th best Star Wars film. So, of course, this is going to make my list. It's my number 1 in 2015. I love this film. Yes, did the trilogy end badly? Yeah, but that's for me. It doesn't affect the film. I mean, it does.
It does.
In 2015, it didn't, and I'm not going to go back and change. Change my opinion.
I'm not changing my mind. What's the point of life if you can't change your mind?
I don't do that. It's just our weird opinion on.
It's just because the movie just pisses me off. Like, I love the movie at first, but now you look back on Last Jedi, it's like, well, that was bullshit. That was bullshit. And Rise of Skywalker is like, well, that wasn't bullshit, but it was bullshit. And so it just completely ruins a lot of my fondness of that first movie.
I just go back in time and think, how was I feeling in 2015 after I saw this movie? And it deserves to be in.
But this is commemorate the decade, not just
it was one
how
of the best
you
movies
felt.
of the decade.
Whatever you say.
All right. My number 6 is Gravity.
Okay, didn't make my list.
I love this film. I know you don't like it as much as I do.
I just don't like Sandra Bullock.
Wasn't even going to go see this film in theaters. I've mentioned this a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Thought, that looks horrible. It was getting rave reviews. Went and saw this in IMAX 3D. Blew my freaking mind. Probably it blew my mind since Avatar. It was after Avatar, I was like, man, nothing's going to blow my mind like that again. And like visually, it's stunning. Felt like you were in space, and I don't mind Sandra Bullock and George Clooney and stuff.
I love George Clooney, but I just don't. I don't like her character.
I'm not a big Sandra Bullock fan, but I think she's great in the film. But yeah, Gravity's my number 6, and that is my 7 through 6.
Okay, let's get to the top 5. Now we trade one apiece like we always do.
Okay.
My number 5 was my favorite movie of 2016.
Okay.
And this is the second Denis Villeneuve film on my list, and that's Arrival. Gosh, this movie is just, I know you don't love it as much as I do, but Arrival is just incredible. From the story between Amy Adams, and you realize about the daughter, and then you realize more at the end of the movie that it was 2 different timelines, the whole thing, and then the story with her and Jeremy Renner, it's great, and then the aliens. I mean, I love First Contact movies with aliens, and this was a really cool, realistic, if this actually happened, is like Jeremy Renner's like, we need to use math. This is how we need to communicate with the aliens. And she's a language-ist person, and they come up with this alien by finding out the deciphering of the language gives us the secrets of the universe. And this movie is, I was blown away at this movie. And I went into this movie with low expectations because I watched a Reddy Cage review of this movie. It's like, it's okay. And I watched it and I was like, oh, he's smoking something.
I remember you really wanted Jessica Chastain to win for this movie. And
you mean Amy Adams?
Amy Adams.
And she didn't even get nominated. She's the DiCaprio of the Oscars.
I enjoyed this film, but yes, I do remember leaving it going, it's all right.
Shame.
All right, my number 5 is Avengers: Infinity War. I think this was a punt from earlier.
Yeah, this was my number 15.
So big gap here for us. This is my favorite MCU film, so of course it's going to be up there. I think it's better than Endgame. I was wondering if you were going to put Endgame in here. I couldn't remember where we fell on that, but I think it's pretty much a perfect movie. It's paced perfectly. It's hilarious. It's got great action. And
what I like about Infinity War is from a lot of my movies on my list, is it's a standalone movie. It really is. There is stuff that happens from one movie to the other. Infinity War, I could show it to anybody and not watching any Marvel movie, and they can watch this and enjoy it. And that's what I love about Infinity War, and Thanos really shows of how, proves through his legacy in this one movie, of how great of a villain he really is. And
it's really his movie, and that end, it was just...
It's the Empire Strikes Back. That's what I love about this movie. It's Empire Strikes Back. It ends you on a cliffhanger. And, I mean, we did have a good sequel, which I will say that Endgame, it's better than, like, Return of the Jedi to end in a trilogy.
Yeah.
Or end in a story like that. But I do like both. I do like Endgame, but I don't like it nearly as much as I do Infinity War.
Yeah, same here. That's my number 5.
Okay, my number 4 is... This is one of the movies from the 2010 that blew me away when I first watched it, and every time I watch it, I'm still blown away about it, and that's The Social Network.
This isn't in my honorable mentions.
Oh, you fucker!
It's in my honorable mentions at least.
You fucker! What's wrong with you?
Sorry, man.
Gosh!
Sorry, man.
What's wrong with you?
It's not in my top 5, I don't think. I think this was one of my honorable mentions that had a 4.5. I do love this movie, though. Great David Fincher film.
It's David Fincher. It's got Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Justin Timberlake. That's right, Justin Timberlake was acting in the movie, and it was this good, and it's about the origins of Facebook. This movie just blows me away. The script writing by Aaron Sorkin is absolutely incredible, and this is a very different David Fincher movie you've ever seen from his career, because most of his movies are about crazy people, serial killers, murderers. The Social Network is about a guy who created Facebook who's a sociopath. And then a lot of, even the movie says at the end of the movie is that all the stuff that kind of happened probably didn't happen. And the movie completely admits to it. But I just love this movie. It blows me away that it's not on your list, because this was easily one of my favorite movies of the decade.
I love the film. Not as much as I love these other films.
God, you're high. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, that's my number 12.
Yeah. I freaking love this film. It is the best of the new Planet of the Apes. It's got a crap ton of heart. I remember this was my favorite film, whatever year it came out. I can't remember my years. 2014. Visually, it's stunning. And, yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah, I love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes because, I mean, apes on horses, apes on horses, apes on horses. And I love how the war starts between the humans and apes. It was the apes' fault. That's one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie. And, yeah, I just found this movie incredible.
It's really damn good.
All right, my number 3 is not on your list because you've called this movie overrated. I can't believe you love this movie as much as you do. And that is Mad Max Fury Road.
God, I hate this movie. No, I don't hate it, but you're right.
But it's
very overrated. Yeah,
I don't. The difference between me and your list was you just went from your best movies. I went through all my movies and how do I feel about these movies from 2020 looking back on it, because Mad Max Fury Road was number 6 on my list when I first released my top 10, and this is probably my favorite movie of 2015 looking back on it. It really is. And
so you're telling me the 5 movies in front of this in 2015, you were like, you know what, never mind, I think this movie's better?
Well, actually, I only have 2 movies for 2015, and that was Creed and Mad Max Fury Road. And the thing I love about this movie, the movie is simple. It's they turn left, they turn around. And I've never denied that.
I don't know if that's a positive.
Do what?
I don't know if that's a positive.
That is a positive, because the movie is simple, but then the story has a lot of other things going on around to it. About the female messages, all the prominent female characters, from Furiosa, Tom Hardy's performance as Mad Max. It's different from Mel Gibson's, but he makes it his own. And the action scenes, using realistic effects and all that, it was just amazingly, and directed by George Miller, who did the original 3, and then he did this one as well. And this movie is just so much fun. I love Mad Max Fury Road, and yeah, I had to be this high on this list.
I like it. I mean, it's action packed for sure. There's no story, as you elegantly pointed out, and I just think it's so overhyped. I don't know why people hype this movie up so much, but yeah, cool. I like the look of it too. My number 3, How to Train Your Dragon, Dose.
Nope.
Figured you wouldn't have this on your list. It's my favorite How to Train Your Dragon. It's my favorite animated movie of the decade, I guess, if we're going to throw it in there. Mm-hmm. I loved this film. It was my favorite movie of the year it came out, which was
2014.
Thank you. And yeah, music, visually, it's got a ton of heart, made me cry. Love the film. I love how they aged up all the characters and stuff. And I may be in the minority, but I think it's the best of the trilogy. So, yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah, I like this movie, but I like the first one better. I do like this better than the third one, because the third one I don't think it's that good.
This one is definitely better than the third one. That was my number 3.
All right, my number 2. Knowing you, this not on the list. We talked about this movie many times on our show, and that's The Wolf of Wall Street.
It's not on my list. Not even in my honorable mentions. Do love the film, though.
I hate you right now. Like, all my hatred.
I'm not going to put movies that aren't even in my top 10 in my top of the decade.
Listen,
doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I love Wolf of Wall Street. We've talked about this movie so many times. And this movie and my number one movie is one of the reasons I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, this movie, sell me this pen. Sell me this pen.
He's a very good
And
salesperson.
Jonah Hill is great. I mean, this movie completely introduced Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street. Introduced Margot Robbie. Without Wolf of Wall Street, you don't get Margot Robbie. You don't get other movies. Yeah, I love Wolf of Wall Street. It's funny. The lemon scene, the Quaalude scenes. I mean, it's so great. And yeah, I love Wolf of Wall Street.
I agree. It's a very good film. Not as good as my other 30 films on my list. My number 2, is that what I'm on? Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Nope.
Edgar Wright is my favorite film from him.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love this film. I did not read the comic books or play the game, so that is not what I base my opinion on. But Michael Cera and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I don't know. I just found this movie freaking hilarious. I love the action. I love the style of the film. I know you say it's style over substance.
It is.
I just find it so entertaining. And it's just, I don't know, it's one of my favorite films of the decade,
This
man.
is my Mad Max Fury Road for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I hate this movie. You enjoy Mad Max Fury Road. You watched it. You liked it.
True.
I don't like
I
Scott
I don't
Pilgrim vs. the World.
understand. I don't understand.
It doesn't. I don't like it. It just
It's a good relationship movie, but it's also freaking, it's action packed and it's just fun.
Hey, let's get into. Hey, buddy, hey Scott Pilgrim, let's get into this chaotic relationship where your 7 evil exes are going to try to kill you. Yeah, that's a good relationship. We're always going to have to be worried about an ex-boyfriend coming around. I mean, that's kind of a.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good. I don't know if it's a good movie about relationships.
No, it is. It's a metaphor. Just think about it.
Okay, so all right, let's end part 1 of this video. So.
Ooh.
All right, guys, that ends part 1 of the Easy Cage top 20 movies of all time. We'll come back in a little bit before our favorite movies, and then we'll also compile where me and Ray Cage will try to kill each other and compile this top 20 movie. So until next time, all too easy.
Peace out.